What's up, everybody? How's it going? It's been a while. I see NGC, Kimmy, and Debbie in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me okay. It took me a second to get this all back together. It's been a long time. Lots of stuff has happened. Had a ton of work for a while, and then my mom kind of got sick. She needed a little bit of attention, or a lot of attention. So I kind of turned my sights on working with my family and working with my mom for a bit. So I took some time off, just doing the astronomy stuff, and I put everything away, and really 6 months fly by. I see Cyber Sully, what's going on? Happy gazing all. I said hi to Debbie, NGC, and Kimmy. Cognition, what's happening? It's great to see you. I missed doing this. I'm a bit rusty, so let's get into it. We got a beautiful waning gibbous moon on Thanksgiving Eve rather. 11:24 on a beautiful night in Florida. We're looking east right now. I think it's 72% waning. I got a glimpse of the eclipse a few nights back, and I really just wasn't ready to stream at that point. So I'm sorry I missed the once-in-a-lifetime lunar eclipse with y'all. Thanks, NGC, I appreciate that. She's doing a little bit better now, but she was living up north, and then my family decided to move her down to Florida. So now she's close by, and it is a lot of work. She's 84 years old, and dementia is coming on, and it's really tough to watch your parent kind of suffer. So I had to really just focus on that for a while. Just sharing this with y'all just a little bit. I'll probably have to say it again a couple of times, but yeah. So dealing with family is priority for me. But yeah, things are a little bit better, and I kind of set up last week to get the eclipse. I got some really dope shots. It was really cloudy going on and off, but I did get like a good crescent or two. At some point I'll kind of do a little video about that. Hope y'all all saw that and enjoyed it, because there definitely were some good views of it, and it lasted a few hours. So yeah. That's what's going on. Ask me some questions. Tell me how y'all have been. Leave me a comment or something. I know this is the longest I've probably been off, but I want to do a few shows this winter now that I have some time, now that Mom's feeling all right. And so yeah, I also have some new tunes that I've been working on the past month. None of them are really finished, but I will definitely play y'all some new jams. I also got a nice new guitar, so no more crackling and no more weird like fret popping. I did change the chat to subscribers only, so if you're listening or if you don't know why you can't chat, it's because I'm just testing this out. Just want to talk to my fam tonight. Yeah, what's happening, Dave? Welcome. I feel you, been there. Yeah, it's my dad passed away a long time ago, like 20 years ago now, so, and it just happened very quickly. So my mom's kind of been going downhill for a long time, and yeah, I was in Florida and she was up north, and I really didn't get to see her that much. So now that she's down here, it's like one of these things where I spend quite a bit of time visiting. and working that out. But yeah, everybody's been encouraging me to get back on, do a show, check in. I hate to kind of leave all of y'all, but yeah, I'm back. We're here. Let's play some tunes. Let's get down groovy. Let's see. Cyber Sully says, so wanted to see it, but was totally socked in and did not get a peek. Damn, that sucks. It really was really one of those surreal experiences, especially because I remember like back in I think 2018 or 2019, early in the year, we did get a lunar eclipse together, and it was much more difficult to film because it was, or to record because it was really right overhead, vertical. And this one, I got to sit on the back steps like I usually do, and I just had the camera there without all the streaming software, so I was just taking like manual shots and looking at it, just enjoying it. I felt like I really had to kind of get my gear out of the closet for that. Yo, 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 Astrolabium, good to see you, my bro. Good to see you. Chris Kelly, thumbs up, thanks, brother. Good to see you too. NGC says, I sometimes wish my dad had dementia. He's too much of a mental challenge, but he's in a village now, so no more farm for him or me or Petra. Yeah, it's tough dealing with older parents. Like I said, it's a first for me to have somebody who's kind of both just recovered from something recent, but is also declining over time. So yeah, it's challenging. I respect everybody who deals with elderly and care, but also, you know, people are getting older and their parents are getting older. Those people are just really, really courageous and tough. Happy Thanksgiving, exactly. Yeah, it's been, but yeah, I've been keeping an eye on things. It's funny, I've been having a lot of conversations about plasma physics and consciousness. Things haven't really changed for me. It's like, since I last talked to y'all, consciousness, memory outside the body, everything's electric, connected with filaments throughout space, everything's fractally recursive. Popular science won't budge on it. We still haven't landed on new people on the moon. No countries can replicate that. It's always funny. But yeah, let's see. I'm gonna play y'all some new tunes now that everybody, not everybody, but some of y'all are here. Okay. So date added. Let's bring this up over here. All right, this one is called Perplex, and I actually just did a cut today, so this is almost done. It's a little idea. All right. Wait. Just got to say hi to Jedi Princess, what's going on? And Dragon Rider FPV, Tennessee here, missed you too, missed you, Jedi Princess. Shout outs, New York City in the house. Just about to throw down a new tune for y'all called Perplex. And the long and short of it is, had to take some family time, and now I'm back. I think all these songs are probably about that.
One memory of your heart, endless perfect. There's only one memory. there's no place. Only one memory of your star, and there's no place. But there's nothing left to do now but dance, come on. I need a break, so long, so long. I break, and I break, and I break, so long, so long. I break, stay, and I break, and I break. I need a break, so long, so long. I need a place to save my head. I need a break, so long, to bury the days that I gave. I need a break, so long, I need a place to save my head. I need a break, so long, to bury your days that I gave. Secrets on the ceiling, zombies are taking away. Secrets of the ceiling, zombies taking away. Secrets of the ceiling, zombies taking away. What's up? All right, that was also a new one called Break. I need a break. I want to hop in here and say what's up to everybody joining. I see Dr. Michael. What's going on? Good to see you. And Red Roan. Thanks for your message. And Rastaman Lives. Bless up, bro. How you doing? Did I miss anybody? Let me know. Yeah, 6 months screams by when you get busy like that. I had a ton of work, like back in May and June, and then my mom got sick, and yeah, then she moved down to Florida, and then I've had to kind of adjust to that schedule, and I had kind of put away all the astronomy equipment and streaming stuff, so it took me a bit to get this all back in working order, but I did actually get some new tech. Everything is new. It's a new microphone. It's the SM7B, but the new one. Got some new headphones, the new AKGs. I got the Elgato 4K 60 capture card. So this is still, I think, 4K 30 because of the camera, but I'm very keen on getting one of the new, like Sony. I was looking at the Alpha, if y'all have seen that. The Alpha is just absolutely incredible. It's like $6,000. But I think there's the Sony R4 that's coming out, and I kind of have my eye on that, so gonna up the quality of the stream. Thanks so much, Jedi Princess. I appreciate that. Ellie Wynn, great to see you. Missed you so much. Hope you're doing well. Happy take back. Thanks. Thank you, y'all. Sorry to scare you if y'all thought something happened. Shockwave, man, missed you too. Hey, folks. I'm well. Like I said, family situation called, so I had to take some time off. Rainbows and butterflies, hey. I'm just reading from a distance, so sorry, I'm going backwards here. Hell yeah, I see y'all in the chat, sending out blessings and love, and take care of your own, family first. So, yeah, this last song was called Break. Before that one was called Perplex, and I'll play you a tiny little bit of this song that I'm working on called Stretch.
and then maybe we'll play some live tunes. I noticed that there's a little bit of buffering going on, so that's just from the Wi-Fi. What's happening, Cellar Door 33? Good to see you. July Soul, we love in your mom. Thank you. I appreciate that. She's getting old, getting up there. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, great. All right, this one's called Stretch. Just a little bit of it.
Rocket drift, you let me share your armor. Left here with this baby for my own father. Just inseparable like motion and desire. All our scars have really faded, don't retire. Just believe the soul is traveling. And you know that's what's more. This is the ocean with you.
that's another new one called Hum, Hum Hum. And before that was Stretch. So yeah, a couple of new tunes. I see Super Must See TV in there. Ellie Wynn, I'm so sorry about your mom. That must be just like incredibly tough, I mean. And I think about that all the time. I mean, there were points in the last few months where it's just like right by her bed, thinking that at any point she could go. I'm very close to that right now, so I'm sending you a lot of love and healing. And it's just like an incredible story and tale that everybody goes through with their, like the second half of life, kind of. So, yeah, I'm so glad you're here, sharing it with us. Thank you. This is the new guitar. It's got a vibrato bar. This is the new guitar. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Let me know if you can see in 4K. 4K, oh baby. Haven't done this one in a while. Haven't played live in a while. Haven't played for y'all in a while. Oh, so forgive me, please. Who do I got in the chat? Somebody popped in, but I can't see. Annette, there we go. One love all. What's going on? I knew I saw somebody different in there. Alright, just another day. Alright, just bring back the night. Oh baby, bring back the night. You'll say that I loved you forever, and you'll say, sit by your side, like no one's right. Oh, babe, I'll be next to you. Just picked up another cause, mountains across the plain. Picked up another cause, I saw it along the way. Picked up another cause for your mama. Won't you be alive forever? I've been lying, we reversed time. I've been lying if I said I wouldn't reverse time. So I picked up another cause, mountains across the bay. I got a cough, but you need to sway. Little baby, or the camera's got to play. Oh, the camera's got to wait. Oh, that went weird, didn't it? Excuse me. Jeez. It's been a second. Now let's adjust this camera real quick. Oh, come on, camera. With the warming up a little bit. Sensei Camillo, good to see ya. OMG, I'm streaming. Some old stuff just to warm up here. Let's do it. Oh, boxes and boxes, your infinite toxins all got something to say. Destructible ideas are vanishing. If I could only remember the cause. The nation crawls insatiable into our nighttime activities, your liberties. But can you say, you're my sisters and I love you forever? Say, you're my brothers and I love you forever. You're my sister and I love you forever. Just find the time, just find the time, just find the time to get to know you're my brother. Ooh, love you for I recall we knew the sun, the elements of fallen graces. Look out, all we love is from the one, the leading love and body races. Would you tell me what you like? I got so much love for you. And you, I say, you're my sister, and I love you forever. Ooh, you're my brother, and I love you forever. Say, you're my sister, and I love you forever. Just find the time, just find the time, just find the time to love you. Say, you're my brother. My sister, love you forever. I left home 17, couldn't tell you I was living the dream. What could I do? While I played the field, how could I prove the hidden yield without the news to fear? Oh, my heart was cool and left me residue. Catch me if you fall, and catch me when you're low. Oh, the moon comes high enough, like love used to know. Catch me if you fall, catch me when you're low.
it's a simulation. Wake up in solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. Oh man, don't you know your life is worth more than me? What would you have me do? It's a simulation. Wake up in solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. Oh man, don't you know your life is worth more than this? Oh, catch me if you fall. Catch me if you're low. To know, yeah. Oh, catch me if you fall. Catch me when you're low. Let's go, come on. I love you, take a good look, it's a simulation. Wake up in solitary, wake up, it's imaginary. Oh man, don't you know your life is worth more than me? Yeah. Oh, what would you have me do? It's a simulation. Wake up in solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. Oh man, don't you know your life is worth more than this? Oh, catch me if you fall. Catch me when you're low. When you fall. When you're low. When you fall. All right. Like old times. One more and then we'll take a little stretch break. All right. What was one? What was one? Come rolling in on midnight, right into Thanksgiving 2021, just like old times. Let's see. This weather, baby, yeah. All I know is you better look out for me. When you float, store this weather, baby, yeah. All I know is you better look out for me. Like a feather,
me take that from the top. All right. A little bit of water. Totally forgot to play my song. That's how it goes. Flow. Breathe this weather, baby. Can't get it right. Flow. There we go. Breathe this weather, baby. Yeah. All I know is you better look out for me. When you float, you're falling like a feather. Yeah, everyone who loves you, loves you, loves you, loves you, loves you best will float. The storm is coming, baby. Yeah, and everyone who knows you, knows you, knows you, knows you, knows you best will float. Formidable opponent, angry crackpot. Formidable opponent, dangerous lecture. Formidable opponent, you can walk out. Formidable opponent, you have the choice. Formidable opponent, angry crackpot. Formidable opponent, a dangerous lecture. Formidable opponent, you can walk out. Formidable opponent, think you have a choice. The moon is calling, a souvenir. As soon as rescue, la retourner. You're fixing the foe, fixing your liquids, now you're left for dead. Just play your debts, float. The moon is calling, a souvenir. As soon as rescue, la retourner. You're fixing the foam, mixing your liquids, now you're left for dead. Just pay your debts and float. Formidable opponent, angry crackpot. Formidable opponent, a dangerous lecture. Formidable opponent, walk out. Formidable opponent, think you have the choice. Don't think you have the formidable opponent, angry crackpot. Formidable opponent, angry lecture. Formidable opponent, you can walk out. Formidable opponent, think you have the choice. Think you have the choice. That's fun. That's been a while. What's happening in the chat room here? Old times for oldies. Oh yeah. Fantasy Ecstasy, what is happening? Said, we missed you, you had us scared. I know, my man. Like I said earlier, maybe you didn't catch it, but had some family stuff to attend to. My mom got sick. I had to tend to her and get used to her being here in Florida next to me. So kind of takes up a lot of my time now. And she kind of got better from where she was a few months ago, but I have a pretty busy schedule. And I had put away all my Astro gear and just like, I don't know, shelved the idea of streaming for a little bit. But I did miss everybody and doing this. So back here for a little bit, like I said, giving thanks, checking in, as the title says. Will-powered, yeah, let's play some will-powered. Let me see if there's anything new that I haven't played for y'all in a bit. We'll do Operator first. Take a little break here, a little smoky smoke. Midnight. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Good to see everybody. here. So tried to get us a zoom shot. It's like midnight, but I smell somebody cooking like stuffing or something. People cooking late night, wafting through the air, making me hungry. Shout outs to everybody in the chat. I see Richard Garcia popped in. How you doing? Great to see you. Great to see everybody. A lot of love to all the caregivers. It's a very challenging thing to watch after your parents. I mentioned it earlier, but my dad passed maybe 20 years ago. So it's been my mom kind of on a steady decline for a while. And now it's the come to Jesus moment where you kind of have to deal with that. So the families come together, but it's a lot of work. And I feel for everybody who's going through that, especially if both your parents are still alive. Let's see. Get a lot of aberration, I think, due to the fact that there's a cold front. It's in focus, I think, mostly. And so just zooming around here. All the hexagons still there. Right here, Mare Imbrium, Plato, Sinus Iridum, Copernicus. Gosh, it doesn't go away. You look at the moon, it comes speeding back to you. I really miss drawing all the hexagons and connections. Like I mentioned earlier, my views have not changed from what I was talking to y'all about and sketching on the moon months and months ago and years for the past few years. It's crazy. I've been watching Electric Universe videos for the past couple of days, catching up on some things, and I still feel we're like treading water to some degree, although I think there are new people coming into the fray. And I don't know, Thunderbolts Project is doing okay. I saw they hired Gareth from See the Pattern and a few more people. I forget Rada, or I forget her name, but there are some interesting videos. Kind of feel like we've said everything there is to say, but then again, maybe it's worth repeating. So I feel like over the next few months, I'll try and do some streams again, and we'll sketch some hexagons and talk about vortices. We'll talk about fields, talk about consciousness. We still don't have people walking around on the moon, at least not as far as we know. We still have really ridiculous podcasts that talk very vaguely and without any detail. We still have Rupert Sheldrake and Eileen McCusick doing YouTube videos and getting very few views, but they're still going, and the biofield is real, and consciousness outside the body, to me, is the most logical infrastructure for storage of memory. It doesn't make sense to keep all our memories and information inside the head, but in shells around the body. And I've had a lot of chats with people in real life about this. And I feel like fundamentally this is one of those things that makes so much sense, and yeah, bears repeating. Ryan in NC, much love. How you doing? From the Nomad Camper in NC, awesome. Thankful for you. Who else am I missing at the top? Esoteric Gold, yo, that's you cooking. Hell yeah. Thanks for the message. I saw you left me a note. I've mentioned a few times tonight, but family duty called. Yep. Yeah, let's see if Tycho is visible. Oh, definitely playing some music, but just talking with y'all for a little bit. Let's check out Tycho Crater. Right now we're on the 11-inch. The detail is a little bit fuzzy tonight because of the cool air and the humidity. It's really high humidity and there's a cold front. But we still have a beautiful moon. I've been watching the flow of Jupiter and Saturn go across the sky. I've been watching, I saw the lunar eclipse and got a few shots of that. I didn't have all my streaming stuff ready to go, but I did watch it. Hope some of y'all saw it. NGC says, I saw Ginge and Genghis, or Ginge? Who's that? On Eileen's live chat one day. That's awesome. I hope some of my fans and some of you guys check out Rupert Sheldrake, Eileen McCusick, of course Thunderbolts Project, and there are a lot of other great channels. See the Pattern, the Electric View, which I haven't checked in on the Electric View in so long. I hope Neil is doing okay, and Shockwave, I hope you're doing great. I don't know, 6 months, 7 months flies by when you get so busy like that. Yeah, Eileen has actually been doing a lot of great, like more frequent videos. I think, yeah, I mean, not to really take anything away from her, it's just more that, I guess for me, it's more about this holistic understanding of it, right? So it's not just the human biofield and health, but it's also the storage of information, memory, and consciousness outside the body. You know, I'm sure it's stored fractally inside the body as well, but it makes more sense that the human body is like the core of an apple, and the flesh of the apple is actually the information of a person's life, like a cloud. I really like the idea. The shape of the apple, or the concept of an apple, can really help you identify so many different parts of the electric universe, and really a lot of cultural big questions, life big questions, history, physics, biology. If you just look at the shape of an apple and you compare it to your hips, and you compare it to the Cat's Eye Nebula, and you compare it to the Sea of Serenity and Sea of Tranquility, and if you compare it to the bridge of the nose, this recursive hexagonal shape that appears on both sides of a coaxial filament. And filaments flow through everything, through the center of your eye, and through the crown chakra, through your feet. And around this coaxial filament, we have, not around, actually along the filament, you have your chakras, which are knots, electrical plasma knots. And these oscillate into the etheric plasma around the body, and they create layers of informational time. And then you perceive these layers and then create the next layer. Just running through the old ideas, just practicing. All right, let's get back into some tunes here. This is an old jam, Weedin' and Livin'. Oh yeah. It's your golden toe and your violin lips. It's a chestnut hair, it's your courage. It's your 9 to 5, baby, kill your life. There's your 6, 5, 6, 7, and your heart's 11. Gotta jiggle your soul. Weigh in on your bones. hopping in here. Say thanks for all the kind comments, everybody. Arum Vorax, I see ya. And Genghis, what's going on? And let me know if I missed you, anybody in the chat, or if you're seeing this tomorrow, what's up, what's up? I hope you're having a great day. Let's see what's going on. So yeah, I mean, Cyber Sully was talking about some stuff. You know, I'm pretty obsessed with this idea of consciousness. And when I say consciousness, to me, it's a multi-dimensional concept of not only how we perceive the world, but how the world perceives us, and the interplay between that is what I believe consciousness is. You know, some people believe there's a Godhead, or a physical God, or a patriarchal God. But for me, I think we exist in this kind of fishbowl or hexagonal shell of plasma, informational plasma. And in this plasma, we have oscillations, little pinpoint bubbles that emerge from the tiniest point, and they expand outwards. And as they expand, they meet other bubbles because of the frequency resonation in this plasma. And these two spheres meet and they create a boundary layer. This boundary layer ends up creating these kind of nested hexagons, or nested three-dimensional hexagonal bubbles. And I believe that our chakras are all oscillators that create these resonant plasma layers around the body. The closest to you is your short-term memory. The furthest bubble away from you, the thin diffuse plasma layer that's 30 feet away from you, that's your birth. And that's why you have a tough time remembering things in the past, because it's physically far from you. And your brain, not just your brain, but every chakra, every oscillator in the body is reaching into the shells, pinging, so to speak, the shells for information. And at the same time, the shells, as Rupert Sheldrake has shown, I'm trying to speak clearly and slowly, so bear with me, but Rupert Sheldrake and his son Merlin, I think, have taken these photographs of these three-dimensional fractal shapes. And this is what I believe information about senses like smell, eyesight, touch, the human condition is all stored in these fractal plasma knots that appear in these shells. This is what Eileen McCusick uses tuning forks to measure by combing, by hitting a tuning funk, and rolling it and combing the plasma layers outside the human body, which she calls the biofield. So the human biofield, this layer that's close to you, is what's being created right now as a complex, multidimensional effect of every chakra in the body, from the crown chakra to the root chakra, each of those creating its own oscillator and creating this kind of compounded effect of our interplay between the plasma, the air around us, and space, essentially around us, being impinging upon us and us pushing outwards because of the oscillation. So the stasis between the ether around a human body and the oscillators within the human body create this memory layer. And then I believe that, like when your life ends, so to speak, this bubble pops and all these layers from 30 feet away from you to the layer closest to you collapse into one, like a bubble would pop. And this is what I think people perceive as your life flashing before your eyes. You're having this compounded effect of memory, but in a physical sense. Let me know what you think of what I'm talking about. Maybe y'all have heard this rant before, but this is the type of stuff I continue to think about every day. Let's see. Cyber Sully says, interesting that there are 7 wandering stars and we have 7 chakras. You also have 7 notes. 7 is a very powerful, I mean, I wanted to talk about, we could talk about numbers, you know, there's the whole idea of the 369 matrix, and then you have 7s, but really the octaves and tones in music and notes really correspond, are I think, let me phrase this clearly, I think are the universe, we as apertures of the universe use musical notation and language to create a framework to understand the shapes that we see. And so I feel like it makes sense. I think that was kind of convoluted, but it makes sense that things are fractally recursive. So if there are 7 chakras in the body and there are 7 stars in either a network effect across filaments or even in a constellation form, even though those may not all be together, I think there is synchronicity between these numbers, because I don't think it's, I think fractals end up looping at some point. So yes, there's variation, but at some point these fractals kind of become recursive. And therefore your hand has all these Lichtenberg patterns in the palm, on the palm of it, and it has 2 bands going across left to right. And if you think about it, this is the same as river networks on Earth and the Moon and Mars. And these are, I think that these are the same pattern because we're all created in a fractal recursion of this shape. Let's see. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Right? I was hesitating because I want to be sure, but that is true. It's 7 notes, and then it loops back around. But of course you have octaves, and I feel like planets in relation to the sun could be construed or labeled with musical notation. I also think that there are probably frequency resonations that we use in music that correspond to planets, like the Schumann resonance of Earth. And these different frequencies, low or high, is basically the speed of the perturbation in the field. So fast and slow wavefronts create different densities, and then these densities create different permissivity and permeability of oscillation, I want to say light, but light I know doesn't move. It's just the perception of light in the ether along different frequencies, using different frequencies and resonations. It gets very convoluted very quickly, but there's a vision that I can see in my mind. But let's see, 7 colors in the rainbow. So yeah, the spectrum of light, redshift, and the way the spectrum spreads out, these are based on different speeds of the wavefronts and crests. And these, even the wavefronts and crests, like a sine wave or a saw wave, these are just loops of just one little piece of the wave. So you also have kind of expansion and contraction of the wave along wavefronts. So let me see if this is what I really want to get into right now, but we've talked about optics before, and your eye basically does this thing where it flips the image. So what's really going on is that your eye is actually what we think of as a black hole. And I think that information captured by the tentacle of the eye, so our eyes are sending capture signals to the field around the body using oscillation. So we are magnetizing information, and information, these fractal knots, have their own oscillation, like strong memories or weak memories. And I think the memories themselves send out pulses, and the pulses between the memory and the eyes create this null point where both are attracted to, and this is what we call being in focus, when information between the receiver. All right, let's see, is it back? Of course, as soon as I start talking about this stuff, no, I'm sure it's just the stupid Wi-Fi. Yeah, so there are a lot of different topics, but mostly that I think a very, very, very fundamental idea that people just don't consider. Man, that's crazy. It's just going to 0. All right, let's see, am I back? No, I'm going to keep talking about it. Yeah, so it keeps going to red here. Come on, y'all, come on. Give us some juice. I don't know, I'll repeat myself. Let me know if you don't catch it, but I'll keep talking. So yeah, consciousness. And yeah, let me maybe reframe this actually. I was having a conversation with somebody and they were telling me that, what do you mean by consciousness? And so then I start to think, I'm like, yeah, a lot of people define consciousness differently. Let me know in the chat how you would define consciousness. It doesn't have to be too long, just like the most brief, most cut and dry. If somebody told you, hey, how would you define consciousness? Let me know. So for me, like I said, it's a multidimensional effect of the human oscillation interacting with etheric plasma. And of course, other people doing the same, other objects, low density objects, high density objects, all creating their own oscillation into the etheric plasma. Plants, animals, people, historical events, remnants, which I think is ectoplasm. I think the whole idea of ectoplasm or etheric ghosts is the fact that there's residual fractal knots of information left on Earth from previous generations. So there's a physical manifestation, physical counterpart to memory of civilizations, which is a profound concept that I'm just deriving from what I've studied, but to me, it's massive because it's always an imaginary idea, this idea that civilizations pass down information. It's only done via memory, and if there's no physical counterpart to memory, people have this sense of feeling very disconnected. And I think this is the truly fundamental principle, is that connectivity is much more prevalent than disconnectedness. I think the connection's working again. Let's see. Doc Michael says, can't talk about pterodactyls or polydactyls. Love it. Doc Michael says, consciousness is me without my physical body. I like that answer. What do you mean in, it's a good answer, but I'm trying to think about how would you perceive, actually here, how does consciousness work mechanically, maybe? How do you think we store or remember things? How does a human or an animal or even a table, the shape of a table, how does it remember its form, given that quantum mechanics and really a lot of science has already shown that essentially all of life is light vibration. And so if light is vibrating and creating these shapes, then what is the perception and storage of viewing these shapes? How do you remember how to be a person from quantum second to quantum second, quantum moment? Let's see. Jedi Princess says soul awareness in this plane. So soul awareness, I think, would make me question, or would make me ask, how do you define the soul, right? Is soul a physical manifestation, or is it a metaphysical manifestation? But soul awareness is also a great answer. Doc Michael says, by the way, my consciousness is just as big as the Horsehead Nebula. That's a great thought. I really wish I could actually get a good shot of the Horsehead Nebula. It's actually to the left of M42, but it's so difficult to get it in real time. Hopefully soon the cameras will be good enough to capture it, but yeah, that's fascinating. Fascinating size. I don't know, it's interesting because our nebula recursively fractal. So our nebula, the same as clouds that we see, the same as molecular bacteria that we see, or is nebular cloud dust alive to some degree and conscious at that scale? Cyber Sully says, consciousness is this physical experience in a spiritual realm. Consciousness, physical experience in the spiritual. So then I would ask, what's a spiritual realm physically, mechanically? Spirit, we know, comes from respiro, or breath, right? So spiritual means you believe in breath, right? That's really intrinsically what it means. But spiritual could also be metaphysical in the idea and in putting faith in concepts that we can't really physically see. So I guess I would ask the spiritual realm, because spiritual realm to me means the breath world, the breath system. And that makes a lot of sense because breathing could be perceived or denoted as oscillation. We do have an oscillation or pulse of breathing. Yo, Bumbaclat, Gato Fish, what's happening? Micro, macro, all one and the same. That's sort of what I'm implying here, at least in terms of the shape of it. You know, I'm sure there is this idea of, at every scale, that consciousness perceives everything around it in a certain way. So let's just have a thought here. So let's say we think, oh, the human condition is very special because we watch shows on YouTube. And if you zoom in with an electron microscope to a cell, to mitochondrial DNA, would you see, would these tiny bacteria be watching like a show on YouTube? So is that fractally recursive as well? And so on and so forth. Is there a version of YouTube for planets or for solar systems? So in terms of creating content and absorbing content is a natural phenomenon. But this content that makes humankind feel special, so to speak, kind of blinds us from thinking about it in this context where maybe mitochondrial DNA has a version of YouTube, but it's not the YouTube that we would expect at the size, the scalar function of humankind, let's say. Same thing with animals. Animals see and perceive things at their scalar function, and solar systems must perceive things at their scalar function. So I feel like I'm not sure about that, right? do they have a YouTube? But I imagine that there is some form of that for planets. And I wonder if that's actually looking at other planets. Do planets look at planets like people look at people? That's a good question to ask. Arum Vorak says, I keep thinking of the apple seed knows how to become a tree. Hell yeah. I love that idea. I feel like I derived that from all these different ideas that we've talked about. Eileen, Rupert Sheldrake, Electric Universe stuff. The apple, the shape of the apple, first of all, is the same as the shape of your hips. And the center of it is obviously, it looks almost like a human body in a way. And the flesh of the apple is the memory of the apple. So when the apple starts, it's a very small point, and then it expands outwards. And the shape of this apple is shaped by the impinging of space around it and its expansion into space. And so every oscillation, so if Apple were an oscillation, the oscillation would have a frequency. And of course, it's not just one thing, it's a multidimensional thing. I imagine that an apple is not just a singular type of oscillation, it's a highly complex fractal oscillation. And that just means that you can't, play a note on a piano that will create an apple. At the core function, the seed, or the structure of the apple, has its own intrinsic resonance that may seem unreachable, right? We may think, oh, we can't replicate that, but we can replicate, we can make apples. So the magic is already there. So to imagine that the apple grows from a point, and the skin that ends up at the very outside of the apple, the thick, tough skin, was the closest to the center, to the Birkeland filament, the coaxial filament that goes through the top of the apple from the branch out the bottom of the apple, where it kind of does a little sprout. And the shape and the structure of these leaves and the apple follow field lines. And they follow the field lines, but they're also impinged upon. And therefore, the shape of the apple actually is almost like the universe tracing out the shape of God in the form of a particular apple. And then the same thing happens with Earth, with the aurora being a layer around Earth. That's Earth's short-term memory. And then the Van Allen radiation belts, these are layers of Earth's memory that move out into space. And the furthest out layer from Earth is the birth of Earth. The birth of Earth is a cool place to be, and we're experiencing it right now because Earth carries that layer with it. What up, Flat Earth dude? How you doing? Cheers. Welcome. Did I miss anybody else coming in? I hope you're all doing well tonight, this morning. Rolling into 1 a.m. here, talking about electric universe, plasma, cosmology, consciousness outside the body, the interconnectivity of consciousness via plasma bubbles and oscillations. Doc Michael says, coaxial filament for the apple is like the umbilical cord to a baby. Absolutely that. It's also you can see the coaxial filament in the Coriolis effect, and you can see it in when people pee. You can see the pee, the urine, emerges from the human body in a spiral. This spiral follows the electrical filament exuding. I'm forgetting my English, y'all. Emerging from the human body. We basically have vortices and electrical coaxial filaments going in and out of the human body from many holes and orifices and the centers of your eye and from the tips of our fingers. And these are all spiraling. They're spiraling because the intrinsic nature of the universe is this coaxial circuit. Now, answering something like that by describing it is something that I find kind of funny. You know, I say it matter-of-factly, but it's closer to saying we can never know about it. So I feel like plasma physics and electric universe and the stuff that I'm talking about makes a lot of sense, makes more sense to me than our standard cosmology. And when I say that, I think that there's also another way to look at it where quantum mechanics sort of implies what we're talking about. It does actually, quantum mechanics actually sort of supports the electric universe theory, or the electric universe principles. However, because of the cult of, you know, politics, lobbying, historical cult followings of people like Einstein and the status quo, and or you know, an intentional conspiracy, we have this this rift between quantum mechanics and special relativity. So the science of the very small and the science and mechanics of the very large don't jive. And this is a really fundamental issue with everything, because they, you know, the powers that be want to uphold the special theory of relativity, the Big Bang, this kind of etherless space. And yet all the evidence and quantum mechanics shows that there is etheric plasma in between everything. And the way things communicate is via vibration. And that's really as simple as it gets. Let's see. Cybercelly says, is our body within our consciousness or our consciousness within the body? So I think that, you know, a cell is probably, or even every atom in the body, is probably a fractal recursive shape of the whole. So I would imagine that every atom of our body looks like our big body with a shell around it. I think that. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think that it is like the human body looks like an apple, and the apple flesh, actually, yeah, what I was going to say earlier is let me finish the apple idea. So the core of the apple has these seeds, and the seeds are very hard. I mean, I know, obviously it's very pedantic, but hard seeds, and the flesh near the core of the apple is thicker and more dense because it's closer to the coaxial filament that's going through the center of the apple. And even, and that ratio, well, the density between these two interplays of the apple oscillating outwards and the etheric energy around it impinging upon the apple oscillating creates the emergence of these field geometries. And then the same thing, I imagine that when humans are born, we grow outwards into ether, and ether pushes in on us. And this balance between matter, antimatter, dark matter, and material physical existence that we see is this balance between the entire universe pushing down, impinging upon matter, and matter oscillating outwards into ether, and these shapes look like everything, like trees, roots, like trees, animals, people, bacteria, planets, solar systems, etc. Stars are like lymph nodes along electrical filaments. Fruit, and if you look at fruit are basically like nodes, like stars along filaments. Fruits are filaments along are nodes along branches of a tree. And we have lymph nodes in our body that are basically recursive fractals of stars along electric filaments. Living Color, Cult of Personality. I love that song. Man, talking a lot tonight. Coaxial filament for the apple. Yeah, I saw that.
Let's see, Mei Wan Ho, The Rainbow and the Worm, The Physics of Organism, good book. Cool. Let me save that. Save that. Thanks for the recommendation. Jedi Princess says, the physical modern world distracts people from thinking about the big mysteries of eternity, meaning, life, etc. It's true, but I think, in a way, it's necessary, because if every single person were thinking about what I'm talking about, the balance would maybe be thrown off. So there's this interplay, I keep saying that, but think about the ratio of apple flesh to apple core. It's kind of 80-20, maybe 90-10 balance that creates a whole apple. And I think that the flesh, or the flesh of the apple, can be related to, let's say, audience and performer, politician and voters, intellects and non-intellects in a way. And I know that sounds kind of like intellectually elitist, but I think that it's true. I think that's why we have a limited number of musical artists. I think we have a limited number of physical artists, and then you have a lot more audience members to perceive these artists or these politicians. And that's a necessity of the geometric field of conscious life. So the masses end up, in a way, like the flesh of the apple, perceiving the core. And now, if you look at it from a different perspective, where an apple that was only seeds wouldn't be able to propagate apples, because what's the point of having an apple if you can't eat it? So the core needs the flesh. The performer needs the audience. The politician needs the voters. Can't exist without them. And vice versa, the flesh can't exist without the original propagation seeds. But you can't eat seeds, and you can't plant flesh. So the natural emergence of the necessitative model of having everybody matter and everything matter, pun unintended, makes the world a different place than the world we live in now, where the human condition is isolated and Earth is orphaned, versus everything is having a similar type, although varied, experience. Let's get this moon back. Take a few more thoughts here. What's happening? Ivan Ramos, what's going on? Renegade says, science progresses one death, one funeral at a time. That's how I know the quote. It's, to some degree, it's true. I think there are some people who are cross-generational who end up redefining structures of the matrix, the filamentary matrix of reality. However, I still think ultimately what I'm trying to say, or what this concept really tells you, is that if you, a human, is like an apple, is like a tree, is like a solar system, is like a galaxy, then you as a person already have the shape of the Godhead, or the ultimate figure, the Brahman, in you, or rather, you are a manifestation of that. And therefore, it brings not only the concept of God closer, but it actually answers the idea of how man was made in the image of God. And if you replace God with magnetic or geometric magnetic fields,
or not just the fields, but really the interplay between oscillation and ether, God becomes manifest. And it's a pretty big statement, but I think mankind, humankind, is smart enough to understand this and to cope with it. Now, not everyone will, but some can. And I think that's probably what I take umbrage the most with popular science, is that they treat basically everybody as if they were stupid. But there's definitely a good amount of people on Earth that could understand this. When I say dark matter, antimatter, all matter matters. Yeah, but maybe you're making a joke, but yeah, I think that we live in a world where we have these catchphrases or these clever names for things. And if you consider dark matter as this force, but also as an etheric potential electric field, and it impinges upon us, therefore dark matter becomes a real thing and no longer this kind of imaginary concept. And same thing with antimatter. Antimatter is just another word for dark matter, which is also another word for the ether, which is also another word for God, right? And then matter, or I think the soul is just an oscillator, becomes also materialized. And that's how I think we can understand the human condition from a much more physical standpoint, as opposed to from an imaginary metaphysical standpoint. Yo Q, yo, good to see you. Almost all the oldies here tonight. Great to see you all. Thank you for all the kind words. For those of you just showing up, if you hadn't heard, I took a long break because my mom got sick and she also moved to Florida. So I've been taking care of her recently and kind of took a big break from doing astronomy. Then she kind of got a little bit better, but she's actually living down here in Florida. So my time is kind of taken up with that. But I wanted to get back here. This was the soonest I could get back live. Got the gear set up, got the camera set up, and found my YouTube password and got back in here. Thanks for all the messages y'all have left for me, and I'm sorry if anybody was like, what the heck happened? So I know that happens, and I apologize. But also, that's what happens too when you got to prioritize things. So thank you. Fantasy, yeah, I'm getting a lot of aberration tonight because honestly there are not only clouds, but there's a lot of humidity, and there's also like a cold front, and I've been struggling with focus all night. I think it's just what's going on with the sky tonight. It is losing a little bit of focus, but it goes in and out. Loops Delou, thank you. Good to see you. I mean, she's not, better, but she's better than she was when she had the spell a few months back. Now she's just back to being generally sick. So, I don't know. It's difficult. Like, she's around 84 now, 85, and she's got Parkinson's, and it's just decline from here, right? The onset of dementia. And it's pretty sad to see your only parent kind of decline like that, but at least I get to see her and take her food and ice cream and stuff like that. It's cute. I'm doing my best. Arum Vorak says, did I enjoy the eclipse? I loved it. I was sitting on the steps like I do on the back porch, and I just didn't have all the gear set up to stream, otherwise I would have done that. It was like 3 a.m, and I set up the 8-inch, and I got a few shots of the eclipse, but mostly I just sat and watched it. It was incredible. The crazy thing is that right up until the point of totality, I had clear skies almost, and then I had clear skies for a while, and then almost instantly the clouds moved in as soon as totality hit, like around 3:30 or 4. But epic nonetheless. All right. It's a lot of good chat tonight, getting back on my routine, or getting back on the Electric Universe chat. It's been a bit, but I definitely have had some inspired discussions with people, especially people who appreciate this idea of consciousness or memory being outside the body. I'm going to keep saying it because it's a really simple statement, but it's a really profound thought if you just imagine it. And then once you imagine it, you start to realize that this is kind of the only way we could really exist. How do we keep all the memories we've ever had with us at every moment? In storage, in layers, outside the body. It makes so much sense, as opposed to we don't know, or we'll never find out, or the brain is very complex, right? If you look up neuroscience today, not to insult anybody who either believes what they believe or studied it, but there is no real fundamental answer to where memory is located in the brain. And then you also have New Age science that says, and quantum science says, that we are just receivers tuned in to life. But that also doesn't really tell you physically what's going on. But when you think about every point of existence, every knot, every oscillator in reality at every scale has layers of memory around it, and they interplay, then we have a physical manifestation of what memory is and how we interact and move memory around. And we've created it, we've replicated it fractally via computing and cloud storage. People don't really even think about storing information in the cloud, right? But we are storing in life information in our cloud, and then moving that around, and these clouds intertwine, and civilizations have clouds, diffuse plasma layers of information. Way more sense. Makes way more sense. Yeah, the humidity is pretty bad, but I will say, like, the winters here are wonderful. They're kind of a good balance of not too cold and enough humidity to kind of keep things good. For me, I don't think I can live up north again. The very freezing winters are just too much now that I've gotten accustomed to Florida, so I love it. But I know some people hate the heat down here. All right, let's play some tunes, and I'll stream a little bit longer, maybe another 20, 30 minutes, still feeling awake. Let us do something new. I had a cool song. Yeah, okay. Missed you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me kiss you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me test you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me test you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me test you. Let me test you. Underneath the stars, count your numbers. Fly up at the moon. I feel you new. To the dark beyond. I saw your umbra across the nature zone. So electric blue. Underneath the stars, did you hear that I missed you? Fly up at the moon. Now you're here, let me kiss you. Did you hear that I missed you? To the dark beyond. Now you're here, let me kiss you. Across the nature zone. Did you hear that I missed you? Underneath the stars. Take time to believe in the world, feel it
your white light, no white. Oh, I've been thinking that you should be mine. So call me up, and let's get down, 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 down. So call me up, and let's get down, 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 down. Oh, you send me messages across the cosmic network, and you send me pictures from across the astral plane, and you send me cryptic kisses across the matching network. So call me up, and let's get down, 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 down. So call me up, and let's get down, 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 je t'attends dans l'amour insaturel, ainsi la même que la même semaine, achetant la éternelle, avec on son billet. Je suis la même que ton avant-l'aile chaque jour. Je t'attends dans l'amour avec les mecs sans agréver. Et c'est l'amour magnétique, c'est l'amour magnétique, c'est l'amour magnifique. Cool running, no water, you wouldn't, 'cause what is right, whatever it takes, please. I've been dreaming from the heart, no lie.
Yeah, that last one got a little sloppy at the end. But that was a new one. That was called Wait, is it? Wait, what's it called? Oh, it's called Maybe I Will Return. And that's actually the first song of this kind of like new set of songs. And I had this on a guitar. I kind of translated it. I really dig this line. I think it's kind of classic. It's very simple. And it kind of loops around in an interesting way. So I'm working on it, and I kind of love the bass line here that pops in.
Oh yeah, be my natural light, like you were before. Oh yeah, be my natural light.
And just it goes back and forth, like a bit of a mantra thing. So that's Maybe I Will Return, and I'm gonna play y'all Perplex, which is also a work in progress. Here we go.
Endless perplex sight. Only one memory of your heart. Endless perfect. There's only one memory of your star. Endless perplex. There's only one thing to do now. Just dance, come on. Inside of the web of the fabled line. Oh baby, just take me. I'm setting our world on fire. Oh baby, just take me. The sun is endlessly perplex. Lucid only endlessly dense. So much wonder goes on that we must leave the sands of time. Sail back all days. Say that you're ready, babe. But you know I've been reaching. I know I've been saying. Love back all babe. Each and every day. Immersed in your feedback. Now sliding your seat back. Endless perplex. Only one memory of your heart. Endless perplex. Only one memory of your star. Endless perplex.
Yeah, I'm digging that one. That's another one. Let's do Breather. This is another new one. I'm just, because y'all are awesome, and I missed you, and a lot of you have been around for a long, long time. I'm going to share all my little demos with you and put myself out there, because why not? Let's enjoy it. 1:25 a.m. Happy thanks to y'all. Really appreciate this experience that I get to have. Can't take it for granted. All right, Breather. What's this one about? Oh yeah.
I wanna feel like the sun and the earth. I wanna feel like myself ain't to blame. I need to feel right. Don't let this go by. I wanna feel like the skies never rain. I need to be nice, not laid into shame. I wanna
Like the salt of the earth, we play Someday We'll Be Better. I don't know, that just came to me, stream of consciousness. That one was called Breather. And I think I'm just going to let these songs, I'm going to work on them a little bit, but I think they're just like this expression of the last 6 months, kind of like getting back into that flow of being able to write quickly and just have fun ideas, but that are meaningful and very hooky. Let's do another one here. This is the second song after that other one. This one's called Break. Let's play it again.
So long, I break, and I break. I need a break. So long, I beg, stay, and I break, and I break. I need a break. So long, I need a place to say my head. I need a break. So long, to bury the days that I need.
Don't be zombies. That's Break. All right, what else we got here? I played Hum earlier. Let me do... Did I play Helion? Did I play this one? Oh yeah. All right, so this one is really rough, but it's super fun. And it's got that kind of like super syrupy, sweet, uplifting, like kick you in the ass, electro fuzz vibe. And I really want to work on this till it's right, but I'll play it for y'all anyway. It's fun. It's called Helion, like parahelion, but Helion. Helion. Anyway, here we go.
Smile outside. It's like your love breaking.
see people leaving. I just want to make sure I say goodnight to everybody. Jedi Princess, if you're leaving, have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. NGC2, are you leaving? Yeah, I gotta go and feed the birds. It stopped raining. Stay safe, everyone. You stay safe. And have a wonderful day. Jedi Princess, you too. And whoever else is heading out of here. I'm getting sleepy too. Or fumbly, rather. Bumbly fumbly. That's my new favorite song that has never been written. This last thing that I just played, so silly. Alright. The moon has disappeared above the windowsill. And, I don't know, I still got a few minutes left. Let's play a couple more tunes here to a black screen or whatever. I'll see if I can get us a little star in view. I don't know, because there's no work tomorrow, nothing to do. Oh, Jedi Princess, you're staying. Good. Good. What about this one? This is something, but it's not really something yet. Maybe I'll just sing something over this, and we'll try and write it together. Let's start over.
Like you were before, I fall over the sea. To be your one side, never fails to wonder. Oh, never fails to break me under. Oh, babe, I love salty other pain I love. Everyone got to say their peace and love to be your love for me. Maybe let's go here in a fire. Here we go now. So slow, I've been here for a whole life.
That's a little messy, but something like that. I don't know. I'll work on it. What do we got here? Oh yeah. It's called Sin on Set. Oh, this is not the right one. Let's try this one.
Once in the dance of the dream.
was warrior, now warrior. Take that any way you please. Alright, that was called Sin Onset. And so these are all from the same, like, last really, like, maybe 3 weeks of writing. I started with a couple and I was just like, let's go. But I thought I would have them ready maybe for this stream, but they're not all finished. So I appreciate everybody listening to these rough cuts. What's this one? It's called A New Fire. I don't even know what to do with it. It's just like a cool little, like, looping jam. What else we got? Got that. Want not to want? Did I play that one? No, I did play that. What about EMP? That's break. Alright, I've played you everything, I think. Oh yeah, this one. Life is real. Alright.
Is real. Waited so hard to find you. Life is real. Waited so hard to find you. Life is real. Just waited so hard to find you. Life is real.
Life is real. Just like a minute piece. Yeah, so those are the new songs. I'm happy to share them with you. Let's do a couple more. Let me know if you have any requests. Oh, let me just close this with some actual live jams. Do a couple and call it a night. We're looking at the moon from like 30 minutes ago. It's one of the clips. So we got something to gaze upon. There's something to chill with, something to lean on, something to live with, something to vibe for, something to die for, something to live, something to gaze upon, something to see, something to feel. Something to die for, something new. Oh, if I had a place for everyone, if I had
for every notion for the seas. Oh baby, would you love me still? If I had a will, I'd let you play. If I had the will, I'd let you. I'd let you. In your hand, in your hand, it's your plan I see. In your hand, in your mind, someone just love. In your heart, knowing with love. In your hand, in your hand. Oh, I'm about to go down to see you live. Wait, I'm away to go back and see you, okay? Okay. Let me alight like the smoke on the corner to see you. Let me alight, let's make it the last smoke we do. And pass it to you. And would you give it back to me? In a dream you handed it so freely. Would you give it to me? Oh darling, I've seen behind your personality. Would you give it to me? I have a battery, I have an empty charge, I need some quantum large generator. I had a home on a metronome, now I need to fade her. I had a smile, infectious rise, and now I'm a sailor through the sea. We are mesmerized by the bottled electric breeze of my mind. Yeah, the moment to mine, the moment we tried, we come alive. Sometimes you just gotta stop and readjust the vibe. Discog, what's happening? Grateful for you. I'm making the neighbors with my let's say life maybe inside. Let's say life is maybe can I be weird somehow? Can I be weird somehow? Let's get funky up in here. Rising up and channeling most of the ancestors for real. Let's get weird in here. Let's get weird. Weird in here. It's really in a adjustment, a family matter. It's really an adjustment you make once in life, maybe twice. It's really quite a change. It's really quite strange. Sometimes you gotta make choices that you don't know about. Raging your cloud, fading out loud like the voices behind you. Fading out loud like the voicemails inside and without you. Finding the spot, ticking the clock without you. Hitting the rock, fading my eyes without you. All right. We play the strings you call the world a spark. Still my loved one, play for fallen rocks. You didn't hear me though, you broke the world apart. I'll search for better days, yeah, we'll go all the way. I'm captain of the stars. Captain of the stars. Take me. Oh yeah.
Kimmy, you caught catch earlier, right? I think I did catch. Cactus Dance. I love that one. Yeah. That will be the song to close upon. All right, I'm getting weird. Getting too weird with those chords. That was a little Captain of the Stars, but we shall close with Ellie's request and have one last smoke for the evening. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate this session and all the warm reception and kind comments and support and patience as I do what I gotta do. And of course, all the years of support of coming and hanging out with me in this small group of lunatics, space addicts, electric universe believers and non-believers, lovers, haters, and all of y'all. I appreciate you at every level. So, have a wonderful day tomorrow. Pull up this song right here called The Cactus Dance. And yeah, I'll try and stream again soon. And leave me a nice comment or a question. We had a really great conversation today. I know it was very convoluted in some points, but I tried to have some articulate areas as well. And of course, if you just look at the apple and the interconnectivity and the fractal nature of the apple and the human being and plants and solar systems, it makes a lot of sense. You can derive your own understanding from just a few little nuggets. All right, everybody, much love. I'll see you soon. This is your captain signing out.